is this real life?
Yes.
The Kings have done something they have not done since the 2005-06 season. They, tonight, have clinched a winning season. They get their 42nd win. They clinched the most road wins in the season since the 04-05 season. And now the magic number to make the NBA playoffs in the top 6 is down to 6. The Kings go on the road in the second night of a back-to-back, and think about what they had to deal with. They get in their rooms last night like 4 a.m. Who knows when they actually fell asleep, but they were awake tonight. The offense got off to a slow start, not knocking down shots like usual, but Sabonis said, get on my back. 20-20 game for Sabonis, and the Kings go on the road and beat the Nets tonight 101-96. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How are you doing, Mo?
Oh, you guys, I think we're all feeling the same. Like, what? Wait, what? Is this real life? I think that's the best way to identify a lot of our feelings. For anyone that was like, I knew this was going to happen. Well, congratulations. You are a goddamn genius. Genie, fortune teller, I don't even know. But this is just amazing what the Kings have been able to accomplish at such a high level, and it's not a fluke.
It's not a fluke at all. This team has sole possession of the number 2 seed in the NBA's Western Conference. And out of the All-Star break, Morgan, they are 10-2.
Oh, my God.
There's a lot to go over with this win. Not only the actual game, but the significance of what tonight means. We'll get into all of that tonight here on Night Chats.
Excited.
Morgan, tonight was an ugly, ugly start. I thought it was ironic. KD's keys to the game were like, hey, limit the 3-pointers. And then all of a sudden, the Nets come out and hit like their first 5 3 balls. And you're like, is it going to be this type of night? The Kings offense really struggled tonight.
Yeah,
and I said this yesterday when they won kind of ugly on the De'Aaron Fox game winner. Just find a way to win. I like the fact that the Kings didn't have to score 145 points to win a game. Tonight, the offense wasn't the same. Right? They barely got to 100 points tonight, but they grinded it out, and they found a way to get it done. There was a lot of good things. Sabonis played like a beast. I thought they did some nice things defensively. They were engaged too. Good. You got the win. You win ugly.
One of the best things that they did in that first half, especially when shots were not falling, they started getting to the paint and getting to the free throw line. And it was the only way that they were going to create something. And what I loved is, yes, that is what you're supposed to do as a basketball team when your shots aren't falling. Think about all those other games when there's so much packed in the middle and so your shots aren't falling, but you don't have much of a choice on the inside. I know Nick Claxton was in there. I don't know what he finished with. Blocks. Sorry, I should have that right in front of my face. He had 2 blocks,
which
is a little under his average. You know, he's like a little over that on his average per game. So, and Sabonis had more, but we'll talk about him soon. But you look at the Kings offense and being able to attack that and then getting to the free throw line. They finish at the free throw line, 32 attempts, 24 for 32. And of course you want them to make more of those as well. But still, I like that they were generating an offense when their shots weren't falling.
Yeah, it's not often when you shoot 39% on the road.
Yeah.
And you win a game. And, oh, by the way, your starting shooting guard, who's been really red hot lately, Kevin Huerter, plays 6 minutes. He left the game on that awkward land. Initially, it was reported as maybe a knee thing. Woj found out that it's actually a hamstring strain. Sean Cunningham from Fox 40 followed up on that, saying it's a mild hamstring strain, according to his sources. Obviously not ideal at all.
No.
But Sean's reporting was that there was optimism surrounding that it wasn't as bad as they thought it was initially.
Love that. And I mean, of course you want to hear that. Getting an MRI tomorrow, right? I think that was the rest of Woj's report. So yeah, hoping Kevin Huerter can figure it out because, you know, we've seen him have some games where he's not producing as much offense, but then other games where he's on fire and he's figuring it out. As the Kings keep getting closer and closer to this postseason, they need him. They need everyone as healthy as they can be. And very surprising too, because this team has just been so healthy. Like you have not seen that happen, knock on wood. You've not seen that happen much throughout this season where a guy's going out in the beginning of the game, he's not going to return. So hopefully Kevin Huerter can just, rest up the rest of this road trip and then return when they get back home.
Yeah, he did not score. He was 0 for 4 in his 6 minutes. And yeah, hopefully it's not that big of a deal. We can talk about that later, but let's talk about the dog. The absolute dog tonight, Domantas Sabonis. Also, shout out to our guy, Steven Larson, who do the best wrestling podcast in the world, Going Into Raw. They just rated us on Twitch. Appreciate you guys, hanging out with us as we talk about this Kings win. Domantas Sabonis, 24 points, 21 rebounds tonight. He also had 5 assists and 4 blocks, Morgan.
Oh, my God.
The guy was an animal, even late in that game. I know there was one sequence where he missed a shot, lost the ball or whatever, but he got a few rebounds in a row. He had 3 guys around him. They're being physical with him. Royce O'Neal's I thought was punching him in the back at one point. They were punching him physical with him.
Did you see him even grab a rebound with his one hand? At one point he was just
Beast.
Just beastly, right? And I saw a stat or a tweet from StatMuse that most 2020 games this season, Sabonis with 4, Giannis with 3. Nobody else has more than 2 this season.
Well, since we're throwing out those random stats, we might as well keep going on this. With his rebound numbers tonight, finishing with 21, he passed Otis Thorpe, who did it 1987-88 for the most rebounds in a single season in Kings history. That is wild. The other thing he did at halftime, he had 20, 12, and 3 blocks at halftime. First player this season with at least 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks in the first half of a game. And he joins Giannis as the only players with 20 and 10 in the opening half of a game. Giannis has done that 3 times. So the monster numbers continue, and it's wild to see him continue, whether it's a triple-double, a double-double. He gets monster ones. I saw our guy Wob even drop that in the last 3 games. Sabonis has 55 rebounds and 30 assists.
You guys,
I mean,
I know after last game, we're talking about Mr. Fourth Quarter, De'Aaron Fox, everything that he's been able to do. And sometimes we shy away from Domas Sabonis because it's another triple dub. We expect it. Truly, when you see these type of games where nobody can get anything going and he goes, guys, I got you from the start. Just get on my back. Let's go for this ride. He takes everyone to the victory line in so many more ways than one. I mean, with the way that he commands people off of his DHOs, the way that he helps people just move without the basketball. And then he's a beast and a half down low in the paint. Amazing.
He was 8 of 14 tonight from the field, 8 of 9 from the free throw line tonight too. And he gave the Kings everything they had. He played 38 minutes. This team was being physical with him. They were banging him around, and his team needed everything he could give tonight, and he brought it on the second night of a back-to-back. Now, someone I think on Twitter was asking me, where do you rank him as a Kings bid? With Cousins, with Weber, and him. Dude, it's so early because actually Jason Ross told me this. This is actually Sabonis tonight played his 82nd game as a member of the Sacramento Kings, with the Sacramento Kings. So
wow.
He is officially played 1 season with the Kings, and think about everything he's accomplished. So those guys obviously played for a lot longer in Sacramento. It's sample size.
Yeah.
But here's what Jason Ross put out. He has now played 82 games as a King. As a King, he is averaging 19 points, 12 rebounds, 7 dimes. He has 68 double-doubles and 11 triple-doubles. He has 5 20-20 games, 2 Western Conference Players of the Week, plus a trip to the All-Star game. The Kings' record in those 82 games, by the way, for Sabonis, 46 in 36.
I probably if you're in Milwaukee or even Golden State when Steph is having a great year, you're so used to these type of things.
Yeah.
Every week they're a Western Conference, Eastern Conference Player of the Week, or they're just putting up these stats that are breaking records left and right. In Kingsland, it just hasn't even been close to that in so damn long. And the reaching for oh man, Buddy Hield knocked down another 3. And it's how many did he chuck up though? You just reach for these stats. What we're seeing here, there's so much meat to these stats that De'Aaron, that Sabonis are putting up for the Sacramento Kings this season. They're so impactful. That is absolutely incredible.
Let's talk about what he did defensively tonight. I felt like he was moving well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bringing him out, pick and roll situations. And, sometimes in space you worry about that. I think he's worked so hard on that aspect of the game. There's sometimes you see him in tough situations. I thought early in the game, the Kings had some switches that were problematic. I think Barnes at one point was switched on Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie blew right by him to the basket. Another sequence where Bridges had Sabonis on him one-on-one. It was a good night. But as the game went on, I felt like the Kings did a great job moving and communicating on defense. And Sabonis, that guy busts his ass. Like, some of the stuff that's been put out there about Jokic recently, and it's like, oh, is he trying defensively? What's going on? I just never see that from Sabonis. Like, with Sabonis, if someone gets a bucket on him, more times than not, it's a mismatch, or it's just like he can only do so much. The guy plays so hard. And when you have a guy that is one of your guys play that hard every single night with how much he's getting hit and banged on and all the responsibility he shoulders by being the main distributor on offense, it's incredible, man. I think he deserves more love for what he does defensively. It's not perfect all the time, but I think overall you're never going to question the effort from Sabonis.
I remember talking to a lot of, not a ton, but a few Pacers media members as the trade was happening and everything, and they were complaining to me about his defense and kind of being like, hey, have fun with that. And I was like, oh, okay, I mean, you've been around it. You've watched it so much more than I was.
He was also playing with Turner, right?
Right. So that's exactly my point. It's something that was truly situational. I doubt it was his effort. I'm sure it was just trying to find your spot. And who are you defending if you're playing right side by side with Miles Turner, right? Are you taking on someone that is so much more difficult that you have to depend on your second line of defense? Sabonis is that second line of defense. And on top of that, he seems like he's probably in some of the best shape of his life, the way that he is moving from side to side laterally and being able to close out. So active defensively. And you saw this team really pick up the pace in that second half. And I'm just like, how do they turn it out? Second night of a back-to-back, got in at 4 a.m., and they're just, the second half, turning it on to another level.
Yeah, they had to grind it out, but they get the win tonight, 101-96. Morgan, sometimes when the people in the chat have a request, you give them something, right?
Okay.
Well, Felipe has something for me.
What does he have?
And you may not like it.
Oh.
Hey, Deuce. Could you please bark for the dog of the game, Sabonis? Well, let's just look at the results. The poll question tonight from the YouTube people. Who is your dog of the game? Is it Domas or Sabonis?
Great bit.
There's one answer.
Great bit.
It's a man that got you 24, 21, 5, and 4 blocks.
Do you love that people are still picking both? They're like, which one do I pick?
It's pretty simple.
Oh, yeah, what is it?
Domas Sabonis.
Oh.
Your dog.
Okay. Stop.
Of the game.
Literally makes me like vomit.
Sometimes I do
In my
wish
mouth.
you'd buy in a little more on that.
If you just
people
did
here
like
it.
woof.
The people here love it.
Felipe likes it.
Felipe loves it.
And maybe Jason. Oh my God. You sickos.
Hey, you know what Morgan doesn't like?
What?
Sometimes the attention goes back to me. She's got the vocals. I can't sing like
I don't need the attention.
I can't sing like Morgan, but I can tell you this. I bark way better than Morgan. I'm a first team all barker.
Yes. That is true. I cannot bark.
You can call me Bob.
What? No. Stupid.
It was kind of funny.
That's stupid.
It's kind of funny.
Oh my God.
So we talk about Sabonis. We talk about the second night of a back-to-back, finding a way to grind this one out. De'Aaron Fox kind of struggled at times today to find his shot. He was 5 of 16, but 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists for him tonight. I thought the bench stepped up too tonight. Malik Monk had some moments tonight where, again, that Fox-Sabonis pick and roll is so sexy. There was a play late in the game where, man, Sabonis is well above the three-point arc. And I'm like, what's the plan here? Like, what's the plan? And it's like, oh, the plan is we're going to spread this out.
Yep.
Monk's going to get going downhill, and boom, let's feed the big fella, Domantas Sabonis, a little pick and roll action.
Spacing.
And Monk has some unbelievably challenging passes that he gives Sabonis, and Sabonis is always ready. When you see Sabonis cutting, his hands are out, ready to go to finish it. That connection between those two is really special, and Monk had 6 dimes in this game tonight.
And it keeps building. It keeps getting better. You know, how many times in the beginning of the season are we talking about, wow, Sabonis and Herter, it's like they've played together forever. And then that started to build and get stronger and stronger with Malik Monk. And I'm so glad that it did, because he's just so athletic. He's so quick, and he is so crafty when it comes to his passing ability, playmaking ability. I think he feeds off of the way that Sabonis passes it to him. They feel where each other are going to be. For example, when it is that dribble handoff, or like instead of it handing it off, it's more of Sabonis bouncing it just right here, and Monk is coming from the opposite side, knowing that the bounce is just going to be coming off his other shoulder. You know, all the defenders are already shifted this way, so he comes off this way, just so precise, so perfectly. It's so fundamental and beautiful, but it really takes practice and having that trust and that chemistry with one another, and it happens all the time.
Yeah, and the Kings have built chemistry pretty fast for a team that's still learning each other. I mean, I know we're deep in the season, but this is the first season with like Malik Monk and Sabonis playing with each other, and they've got a legit chemistry. We saw Kessler Edwards get some moments tonight, and dude, Kessler against his former team, he comes out and he plays defense, man. I feel like the Kings found a little something with Kessler Edwards. I know the offense isn't always going to be there with him, but tonight knocked down a couple of threes.
Yeah.
He was 4 or 6. He had 10 points. He had 3 rebounds. He'll go up and try to get some of these boards. He plays physical. His defense tonight was good.
Dude,
I like Kessler.
He didn't even have like a role with the Nets this last year, right? With everyone that they had on their roster. So for him to come to an entirely different team at the trade deadline and not find any place in the rotation, finds a moment, and they see, oh, there's potential here. Finds another big moment. Oh, he's efficient in his time. And now I just think it's about like finding that comfort, right? Like playing with these guys for the first time. You've been around for a month and a half. And yeah, I love what he adds with his wingspan, with his size, especially you go up against some long players like Mikal Bridges and Nick Claxton. It's the exact type of modern day NBA body type that you want.
And that the Kings lack.
And that exactly. And the Kings lack. One thing before I forget, we also didn't mention that Sabonis had 4 blocks.
I did.
You did in the stat line? Okay.
Of course
I just felt like that was like huge.
I at the very top I mentioned that.
Okay.
24 points, 21 rebounds, 5 Frankie D's, and 4 blocks.
Yeah.
I don't think the Frankie D thing's sticking.
It's not sticking.
But I haven't used it enough.
Yeah, so there you go. Frankie D's are assists because Franklin D. Roosevelt's on the dime.
Yeah, Frankie D's, man.
No,
Frankie D's.
They get it. We're trying.
Do you think it's going to work?
For us and for any of the hardcores.
Sometimes you just got to shoot it. You got to get your shot up
Yeah.
for sure. It's amazing reading the chat tonight. We have a lot of people just dropping "Shut Up and Light the Beam." We have one person who's literally writing the lyrics of your song in the chat.
What? That is hilarious. My mom texted.
Yeah.
She said, "Shut up and light the fucking beam." I love her.
We mentioned this in the pre-podcast, but
What?
the response to Morgan's "Shut Up and Light the Beam" song was pretty outrageous. And we did this as just a stupid little joke thing. And of course, we get into it because we're performers, entertainers.
We think.
And it was fun. It was great. It was cool to see the response. I guess this morning, I didn't realize this until late this afternoon. One of Sacramento's enemies had something to say about it.
Stop calling him that.
Some people feel that way. I don't. I think JJ Redick is a great guy, but JJ Redick acknowledged Morgan's singing.
He acknowledged, our performance. Come on.
That's fine. All he said, though, was need this on a Spotify playlist.
You guys, he's down to light the beam. He's down to be on board. You got it. You got to invite everybody in. You got to get over it. I'm sorry. Even Jalen and Jacoby, them talking about the Tyrese Halliburton. No, because I'm not going to be a petty weirdo when it comes to even bandwagoners that want to jump on.
Okay,
Come on.
Speaking of jumping, you're jumping everywhere. JJ Redick was critical of the trade, apologized, everything.
Held himself accountable.
His opinion was off. He overreacted, and he has owned up to it. Jalen Jacoby were literally inaccurate and wrong,
Very wrong.
Factually about what they were saying.
And rude, but yes.
So we're not doing that.
I'm just feeling good tonight.
No, and that's fine. You could feel good about that tonight.
Thanks, Deuce.
Get out of here.
Going-
Thank you, chat. F. Jalen Jacob. Thank you.
Oh, my
Thank
goodness.
you. Hey, if you're in the chat right now, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Can you help us out, though? Hit that thumbs up button because it just helps our channel grow so more Kings and NBA fans around the world see this channel. Also, subscribe. We're closing in on 11,000 subs.
Kessler Edwards revenge game tonight. Love that he had to add a little bit, and love that he was asked in post-game presser, just like, were you excited for this game? He's like, oh yeah, like I looked forward to this.
Well, think about it from Kessler Edwards' perspective. He had some nice moments last year with the Nets and looked like, oh, maybe he could be a part of something. Wasn't really playing this year. And right before the trade deadline, the team you were with trades you for a player who's never coming over, who plays overseas, and literally sent cash with you to Sacramento. Basically, put it this way, Kessler Edwards, you got traded for nothing. They paid a team to take you. That's even if it's not meant to be insulting.
It's not.
The way I put it out there, it feels insulting, right?
Absolutely. Here's millions of dollars. Please take him with you.
But look at him now. He's getting an opportunity on a team that's going to be in the playoffs, a team that's near the top of the Western Conference.
Just a great little Monty McNair tweak. Wes Wilcox, all those guys behind the scenes making another tweak. I dig it. Dig it a lot.
Someone in the chat asking who got the defensive player of the game, Shane. It was actually Malik Monk tonight. We need to talk more about the Kings defense, Morgan, because I felt like they were super active defensively.
They were.
I felt like deflections were good. Keegan had some nice moments. You want to hear what Mike Brown had to say about before you have thoughts on it? I can't talk tonight, as you could tell.
You're doing great, sweetie.
I'll let you get to your thoughts on the defense, but let's hear from Mike Brown explaining why Malik Monk got the D-Pog chain tonight. I don't know why I'm not here. Nick, oh my God, Nick came in here. Hold on, Nick. You son of a gun, Nick.
Coach Nick
not
trying
tonight. Here's Mike Brown explaining why Malik Monk won the D-Pog.
I thought throughout the whole game he was pretty good, and not necessarily getting a lot of steals and all that, but his positioning was pretty good. He was communicating. And then down the stretch, they tried to, pick on him a little bit. They tried to ISO him versus McHale, and you're not stopping a guy like McHale. He's a young player that's a really, really good player. It's going to be a great player someday at a very high level. But you just try to make him work. And I thought there were 2 or 3 possessions where he kind of showed his hands and chested them and made him take tough middies that McHale's able to hit. But if he hits those and we lose, we live with those. We live with that situation. So he deserved it throughout, more so towards the end of the game and them trying to go at him, but him holding his ground. We didn't have to take him out or anything like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That was Mike also saying, he did some nice things. Let's reward good behavior. Even if it wasn't perfect the whole night, you did some good things.
Right.
Malik Monk's face right now. This is kind of funny. Like, oh shit, I'm getting this. Wow.
You know what? And what I do agree with though is because what we even saw from that Bulls game the other night, Kings Film Room, who puts out great content, by the way, put out this clip of the Kings in a 2-3 defense. And I noticed Malik Monk being one of the top guys, the way that he was rotating, communicating. You could hear them all communicating within this. But truly, I noticed his closeout, chopping his feet, all the little details that you want for a defense to be completed for a great defensive possession. Malik Monk, he's a big part of that. He's like that glue guy that makes a lot of that work. I know we always talk about the anchor, Domas Sabonis, who also can finish off a play with a great defensive rebound or a block. But Malik Monk really just holding your guy, putting on that perimeter pressure is huge.
Lee in the chat was mentioning that 2 of the 3 fouls that were called against Keegan tonight were bogus. Well, the one that he got where Bridges drove on him, minimal contact, and then fell back, hit the end one. I'm like, come on.
Bridges sold it, and it was a weird angle. Yeah. But like, what?
So what is Keegan supposed to do in that situation?
Nothing. Okay. He got screwed. he got screwed in that situation there. But you know what I would have done if I was Keegan? I would have shown a little bit of emotion. I've been like to the ref, like, what the shit is that?
Yeah, you want him to get a little hot?
Yeah, I want to see like at least a little bit of like a mouth like crease. Yeah, like there's nothing there. He was just like, because he knew he didn't foul him. He didn't do anything wrong.
How do you feel? Did you feel tonight that the defense did some good things, or was it like, hey, also the Nets don't have like a true shot creator, primary shot creator?
The Nets can hit shots. I mean, they have shooters on this squad, and they held this.
I know, but they don't have like a guy. Like Bridge has been really good, but you still don't think of him as like a number one on the team at this point.
The Kings held this team under 100 points. The last time they did that, I think it was against the Cavs a while ago. So, I mean, however you want to look at it, even if the Nets were missing a lot of shots, I do want to give love to the defensive intensity. Like, it wasn't perfect at times, and a lot of times it was just the Nets missing shots, but there was still a lot of good moments from the Kings defense and better moments that we've seen game by game that I think we have to give credit to.
We got more coming up, and I want to talk about in a second the significance of what tonight means.
Okay.
Because it's deeper than just tonight's game. I think we've covered this game pretty well. Unless you have any other thoughts.
Trey Lyles back in action. Loved seeing
Welcome
him.
back, Trey Bay.
I'm a Trey Bay.
Yeah, Trey gave you 11 points, 6 rebounds, 4 of 8 shooting, knocked down a couple of threes. I love Trey Lyles.
Yep. And that was pretty
Steady.
much it.
Steady. He comes in and does his thing, plays hard, attacking the basket, hitting the three. I love it. I love Trey Lyles.
Dig his vibe.